Dr. Kevin N. Williams, pastor, True Praise Family Worship Center.
Number 26. Genesis 1 and 26. Give me 10 minutes. I'm going to be out your way.
And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion.
Stop. First of all, God says, I'm going to make man. I'm going to make him in my image and in my likeness. So God made us in his image and in his life. Do me a favor. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I look just like God. Now. Some of you ain't as cute as other folk is, but that's all right. Because it's not your outward appearance that looks like God. Because God ain't got weave. He don't buy Yakking Straight 1B. But we are made in the image of God. God is a spirit. Therefore, the first concept you must understand is that before you are natural, you are spiritual. Most of us get offended when folks say to us, you're trying to be spiritual. When you ought to say, it's because that's who I am. I am spiritual. I was spiritual before I ever became natural. My dilemma is my natural messing with my spiritual. That's why Paul declared, when I would do good, evil is ever present. And so the good that I would do, I do it, and not but the evil I say I'm not going to do, I find myself doing it. Oh, wretched man that I am, who going to deliver me from this body of death? So we must understand we are made in the image of God, and God is spirit. He is so much spirit that he says they that worship me must worship me in spirit and in truth. So we must understand we are spiritual beings having a natural experience. You're not a natural being having a spiritual experience. That's backwards. You're spiritual. Tap your neighbor one more time. Say, neighbor, I'm spiritual. That's why I squint and look deep sometimes. I'm spiritual. So we're made in the image of God, and God is spirit. So we've got to operate. So what has to happen before we ever operate in the natural, we need to learn to operate in the spirit. Oh, God. That's why the Bible says the weapons of our warfare, they are not carnal, but they are mighty through God to the pulling down of stronghold. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principality, against spiritual wickedness in high places, against the rules of darkness of this world. It is all spiritual. If you are going to, listen, believer, if you are going to change your world, one thing you're going to have to come to connect with is the fact I've got to operate in the spirit. I can't keep operating in the flesh. Because fleshly stuff don't get you no results. Some of y'all cussing folk out in the natural, it ain't helping. They still acting stupid. But when you learn how to operate in the spirit, and deal with the demonic spirit that's behind why they do what they do, you can change your whole atmosphere. So God made us in his image. God is spirit. So he says, he made us in his likeness and in his image. Okay? Read the text. So read it again. Start from the beginning.
And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness.
So God said. Next part I want you to note about God, not only is he spirit, he's a speaking spirit. When God breathes into man in the Bible, you all know he took the dust and put it together. The Bible says he breathed into man. He breathed into man pneuma, which is spirit. But it was the ruah of God, which was the essence of who God is. So when he into man, the Bible says man became a living soul. The term there actually says man became another speaking spirit. Because out of everything God had made in creation, nothing else talked. Dogs bark, cats meow, cows go moo. But only man talks. So when God into us, he says, what I did, I made them just like me. They have the ability to speak. So with that ability to speak, he put in us the creative power to call those things that be not as though they were. So God gave you the ability to decree a thing, to say a thing, and it be established. Now y'all looking. Because see, I know church has taught you for so long, that's all God's job. No, that's your job. Because according to the Bible, I'm going to jump ahead of myself, but we'll draw back later. According to the Bible, after God did everything he did, he said, I'm chilling now. He said, what I did, check out the Bible, Elijah, when you read Genesis, the first chapter. Every time God did something, he says, it's good, it's good, it's good. When he got to the last thing, he looked back at everything and said, it's very good. I'm finna rest. So he is at rest because now he has turned the authority over to us to create our world, our cosmos, and to declare and use the power that he's given to us. So we create his image, and so we need to learn how to talk. Tell your neighbor, say, learn how to talk. Be a speaking spirit. Now, what I mean, I ain't talking about talk foolishness, talk trash, talk junk. I'm talking about learning how to talk and say what God says. It's called the law of confession. The law of confession simply says, I say what he says. Okay, I'm going to hurry with the text. I'll let y'all go home. But the greatest authority in your house, those of you who have a man in your house, you know, if you're the female in the house, then you're the greatest authority in the house. But if you got a man in your house, the greatest authority in your house should be that man. Should be. That's another sermon. Should be that man. And when everybody is acting crazy in that house, children won't listen. I have 3 boys, and oftentimes this one here and the other one won't listen to my older son. And they'll tell him quick, you ain't daddy. And so what he'll turn around and do, he understands the authority of me speaking. That I don't have to say it to them myself. He can go and say, Daddy said. And them who would not obey his word got to obey Daddy's word. Y'all don't want to go with the preacher because some of y'all ain't caught on yet that when you have the law of confession, you understand sometimes the cosmos don't want to obey your word, but you understand who your daddy is. You understand who your father is, and you can tell the devil, but Daddy said. Even if your body don't want to line up and get healed, tell your body, but God said. So go ahead, read it. Let me hurry.
And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea.
Here it says. He says, let them, the creation, the speaking spirit, the individual he's made in his image, he says, let them have dominion. Dominion means rulership. It means authority. Give them the ability to command. Okay? Now notice he says they have dominion. Read the text. Dominion of what?
Over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.